Yo, what is good, everyone? It's extra late, so it's probably gonna be some cursing and everything in this video. Yo, what's up? This video is gonna be dope, but I appreciate everybody. Gotta give a shout out to everybody who support the content, the people who watch, who subscribe, who comment, who like, who dislike. Hey, I appreciate all y'all. And like I said, I welcome the feedback. If it's something y'all want me to touch on, definitely hit me up and I definitely do my best to get that out for you. Now, this video is going to be interesting, okay? Because we got, like, I like when two things intersect, okay? We got financial advice from what some people would call like the OG financial guy, Dave Ramsey. And then we got blackness. So yeah, blackness intersects with anything, everything, you know what I mean? So we're gonna talk about it today because one of my homegirls, I actually watched her channel. I've seen some lives, I've actually interacted. She has a pretty interesting channel. I haven't heard anything financially when I viewed her channel that I don't disagree with. That's why I made sure I actually add her in the description because I'm definitely going to reach out and invite her to talk about it. But I wanted to give my take on a video that Markia the Money Plug made, and I drop a link to her channel in the description box to this video. But she made a video where she talked about how Dave Ramsey's financial advice isn't for black people. And so, I was like, man, wow, this is, something that went viral. It was an old take, but it just now started to get some, it just now hit my radar because, I'm now up on the latest trends. I happen to actually be watching Anton Daniels and he was talking about it. And I was like, that's interesting. So I had to dive back, look at it, and I wanted to give my take on it so we could punt it around and see what you think. As always, hey, I'm a licensed attorney, but it's not legal or financial advice. Just infotainment, letting y'all know what we doing sometimes, giving my reaction and attorney point of view to current events. Now, everybody already know who Dave Ramsey is if you're watching this video. If you don't know who Dave Ramsey is, he's like the OG. He's like the OG finance guy who started at the most basic foundation fundamental level. And I personally think that that's a good thing because I'm not the smartest person in the world, so I need everything broken down simple, the easiest way, and the way that's less complex. Now, do I agree with Dave? And I feel qualified to talk about Dave Ramsey and his financial advice because I am someone who actually paid to take his course, Financial Peace University. Okay, it's one thing to talk about something you haven't experienced. But hey, I've actually experienced this course. I took his course. We're gonna talk about it. But I wanted to pull up the video real quick just so we can see. And it was 2 or 3 videos we're gonna watch because you make that first video and it's kind of a wild take. Then you come back with another video to clarify. So we're gonna watch 2 or 3 videos where she's talking about Dave Ramsey and his applicability or if it's structured for black people. And then we're gonna break it down because this is my general rule. Anytime somebody says something isn't for black people, that's something that I need to go look at because it's probably actually fairly decent. I'm just, hey, I'm just gonna be honest. Later on, I'm gonna go through the list of things that I've heard in my lifetime. People say these aren't things that black people do, and when you hear this list, you're gonna be like, "Oh, that's why DFD got that rationale." So generally, if I hear this particular thing isn't for black people or something that black people don't do, I'm gonna actually research it and look into it because it's probably something over there I should know about, should inquire about that could actually give me more information. Now let's go ahead and cue this video up. I want to make sure it's just so many of them. So many of them. I feel like that's the best view right there. And I haven't even listened to all of these. I think I listened to just the one. But yeah, hey,
What's a hill that you're willing
Oh man, I'm going
The more
backwards and everything. What am I doing?
What's a hill
Can we pause that? Y'all can tell I never TikTok at the money plug. All right, so this is what kind of went viral. Then we're gonna play a couple other short clips, and then we're gonna talk about it. Because back in the past life, I used to be commonly referred to as Huey P. So I ain't the most pro-black person in the world, but yeah, you gotta make sure that you're conscious of what's going on in your area with your people because you are them and they're you. So let's go tune into this video.
that you're willing to die on 1,000% of the time?
Dave Ramsey's advice does not apply to Black people. Allow me to explain. What's up, everybody? My name is Marquis. I'm known as the Money Plug on social media, and I'm a board-certified credit repair specialist. The vast majority of the clients that I get are Black and brown individuals from communities where they were at or below the poverty line. The common thread between all of my clients is a lack of financial literacy. Predatory lenders love communities where they don't have any financial literacy because that is where they make the most money.
I agree with what she's saying so far. Let's continue.
Astronomical interest rates in check cash and payday loan places. You don't see those in the suburbs. You see them in urban, like poverty-stricken areas. Something else that is always in these areas is the fact that nobody's making enough money to survive. So how are they going to budget their way out of poverty when they're not even making enough money to make ends meet? I'm not saying that Dave Ramsey is giving bad advice. He is giving good advice for white people.
What's a hill that you're willing to die on 1,000%?
All right, so hey, video number one, I'ma just be honest, like it really wasn't a lot of context there. Okay, it was a take. Hey, his advice is, hey, it was just a take there. I didn't really get any context. That's why I'm glad she had put other videos up. But generally, I agree with most of what she said, especially the beginning part. Check cashing places do target areas where people are vulnerable, don't have education, don't have resources. I don't know. I'm gonna have to say I don't know about the take on most people. You can't budget your way out of debt because most people don't make enough money. Because I'm gonna be honest, like I don't know, like that's true in some regards, but I've heard a gazillion times Dave Ramsey say, "Yo, go deliver pizzas or do something to make extra money." So he's definitely a big proponent of if your ends ain't right, you need to make money. But it's also true that a lot of people do make enough money, they just spend too much damn money. But let's listen to the rest of the videos so we can get the full context, just so we can make sure, and I can make sure I know what the hell I'm talking about. All right, let's see.
No, because I was right. Dave Ramsey's advice is not for Black people. It's not just a poverty thing, and the fact that people latched onto that one piece of my entire argument is ridiculous. I'm not saying that all Black people are poor, but the majority of those living at or below the poverty line are in fact Black. Look at the statistics. I'm not saying that people can't find some gems in his advice either. There are always exceptions. What I'm saying is that Dave Ramsey's advice was not curated with Black people in mind. The majority of Black people cannot benefit from generational wealth because there is no generational wealth. He also didn't address any of the socioeconomic barriers that we specifically face. I'm not sure why this man has a chokehold on Black households, but we need to stop listening to him. He cannot relate to us. And his intentions may have been good, but unfortunately, they missed the mark. There are so many other Black people who provide good information while addressing the issues our community uniquely faces. But I stand on what I said.
Okay, let's. I got to run this back. Take a pause because there's a couple things in here that I just want to address. Now, I think she said she was a board certified credit repair expert or specialist. I don't want to forgive me if I'm getting your title wrong, but this is my short take on just the first point. Dave Ramsey is doing what everybody does to make a living. He's giving people something that they could actually find for free. Even what the hell I do. Okay, yeah, DFD, you practice law. Yep, and all the laws I look at and everything that I know, y'all free to go to Google, open the book, and find it yourself. But nobody wants to do that. They're a lot more comfortable coming to somebody who's an expert in that particular area or who've made themselves an area. Dave Ramsey is doing the same thing that everybody does. Hey, people can fix their credit for free, but they come to you because you're an expert and board certified. People can fix their fucking finances for free, but a lot of times they need somebody to give them some guidance and structure and a blueprint. So he just doing from a business standpoint what everybody else is doing. This is what I'm giving. This is a product that's probably free out there on the market. But if you come to me, it specializes, compact, is truncated in a way that you can make palatable. But she made some interesting points on here that I generally, for the most part, kind of disagree with. But let's talk about it.
No, because I was right. Dave Ramsey's vice is not for Black people. It's not just a poverty thing, and the fact that people latched onto that one piece of my entire argument is ridiculous. I'm not saying that all Black people are poor, but the majority of those living at or below the poverty line are in fact Black. Look at the statistics. I'm not saying that people can't find some gems in his advice either. There are always exceptions. What I'm saying is that Dave Ramsey's advice was not curated with Black people in mind. The majority of Black people.
Okay. Let's talk about Dave Ramsey's advice was not created with Black people in mind. This is just my take. What was? Were colleges created with Black people in mind? Was the right to vote created with Black people in mind? Let's just be honest. Things are just created for the purpose that they're created for. If someone is creating something with a particular group of people in mind, it's because it's someone from that community who's actually creating it. So me personally, I think that's a little disingenuous saying that his advice wasn't curated for Black people, because nothing was. You think the laws that are drafted in every state in the federal laws were curated with Black people in mind? It might have been, it could have been but not for a good reason. So I think that's kind of disingenuous to say that his work that he's doing with regard to finances weren't necessarily curated for Black people, because sometimes some information is one size fits all. And I'm not saying this one size fit all from everybody can follow the same blueprint and have financial success. I'm just saying that I think, as a matter of course, correct me if I'm wrong, and I can speak to this. When I signed up for Financial Peace University, we didn't do it in a neighborhood that was like all white people or all Black people. No, we did it a random class out of nowhere. The instructors teaching the class were Black. Everybody who was in the class with us, if they weren't Black, everybody in the class was actually minorities. So whether or not his information was curated with Black people in mind, it probably wasn't, because most things aren't curated with Black people in mind. Like, that's just kind of what it was. Like I said, college wasn't curated with Black people in mind, because if it was, it wouldn't have been a need to create historically Black colleges and universities. Why were those created? Because when college was created, it wasn't created with the intent that we can go. But is college a good thing? Yes. College generally, if you don't get a basket weaving degree and you actually graduate and put some effort in, generally college is a good thing. So I personally think that that's a little disingenuous, because just because something isn't curated specifically for you doesn't mean that it can't be beneficial to you.
People cannot benefit from generational wealth because there is no generational wealth.
Hey, there is no generational wealth. Some things can be true and false at the same time, and that's one of those things. Yes, statistically, African Americans inherit far less than their white counterparts. That's 100% true. But a lot of times too, because people don't have and I'm sure other people do this as well, but I can speak from what I've seen. I can name about 6 people I know who inherited grandma's house and sold it immediately. They sold it because they couldn't get along with their siblings. They were arguing over who was going to do what. So one of the reasons that there isn't, well, there's a few reasons that there isn't black wealth, but a part of that is because we don't have the financial education and knowledge to know that some assets are worth holding. Just think about it. I could speak from example. My great grandmother willed a house and she tried to do the right thing. What did she do? She left it to like 16 people. Her grandkid, she left it to like 16 people. You think all those 16 people came around and were like, yo, let's keep this house because it's an appreciated asset and we can put a renter in there? Hell no. Nah. People lost their mind immediately. They wanted to get rid of it. Luckily, we were able to scrounge up the funds so we could actually purchase the house. People didn't want to give you time to get the money together. So, hey, black people do inherit far less than their white counterparts, but there's a multitude of reasons for that, to include financial education, financial literacy.
He also didn't address any of the socioeconomic barriers that we specifically face.
Now, when it comes to socioeconomic barriers, this is just my take. Have things been created to specifically, systematically deprive minorities from making advances? I don't care if it's black, women. Yes, yes. Who's probably got it worse? Us. We probably got it worse. There was actually specific laws on the book designed to keep us from getting ahead, from keep us. So, yes, that part has some truth to it. But when you're talking about the socioeconomic things that impact the community, it's true, but it's also part of the playing the victim too. Because let's just keep it a buck, right? I don't care. I've seen people come from far worse circumstances than I've had, than you could probably imagine, who have amounted to a lot and accomplished a lot. So, yes, there are some socioeconomic things that are systematically or historically have been designed to keep us from behind, but good information doesn't necessarily be cultivated to that. It doesn't necessarily need to be cultivated to, let's specifically, in this good information, let's address the socioeconomic reasons how you got here in the first place. Sometimes, it's good to know that background, but sometimes you don't necessarily need that background. Sometimes not knowing that background could be a way for you to actually push forward. Now, it's generally good to know that type of shit, but I think that's more of the victim Olympics in my game. Like, okay, so what? You had things work against you. What the hell are you going to do about it right now? That's just kind of my take. I see both sides of it, but, hey, times get hard. You got to hustle. You got to grind. It's going to be a lot of shit that's going against you. That's not going to be an excuse for me not accomplishing anything that I want to do. That's just kind of always been my take and my position on that.
I'm not sure why this man has a chokehold on Black households, but we need to stop listening to him. He cannot relate to us. And his intentions may have been good, but unfortunately, they missed the mark. There are so many other Black people who provide good information while addressing the issues our community uniquely faces. But
I agree with that last part. I agree that there are minority, Black, whatever, Asian, whatever you want to call it, there are minorities out there who are giving good information on finance. But I think that his chokehold that he has on the African American community is one that's warranted. Like I said, I'm somebody who went through Financial Peace University. I'm somebody who, personally, I didn't need to go through that shit. I know what to need. All the information he give you is on his YouTube page for absolutely free. But, hey, my significant other, she needed a little bit of a push to feel that we could accomplish something. And you got to know what battles you're going to fight. So I was like, you know what? Maybe she'll listen to this old ass dude telling her the same shit that I'm telling her. But I just don't think that, I think his chokehold he has on the Black community is warranted. Like I said, everybody in my financial peace class were African American, minorities. The instructors to the class were African American. They actually had on their wall where their last letter that they got where they paid off like their $30,000 or $40,000 student loan balance. So regardless of whether he talk about socioeconomic and all the, I mean, like, what do we want Dave Ramsey to go back and historically be like, well, it all started, in Charleston, South Carolina? Like, that would be crazy. Like, I just think that would be crazy. I don't think we need that background to get the value from it, in my personal opinion. Now, before we get to the next video, right? The other thing that I think we do too much of is like, I don't know. I feel some type of way like who is an individual to say that information that's educational is not cultivated for a whole collective group of people? It may not be cultivated for you, but for the hundreds of thousands of people who listen to Dave Ramsey as an old country ass white guy and got out of debt, it was perfect for them. It was just what they needed. And do I agree with everything that Dave Ramsey say? No. I'm not having $1,000 in my emergency fund. No, I'm not going to stop all of my investing completely while I pay off debt if it's taking me forever to pay off debt. Certain things I don't disagree with, but in general, I think his principles make a good foundation. Now, it's funny because I said at the beginning of this, when people say, or you hear someone says, this information or this thing isn't for Black people, I always kind of like look at it and take that with a grain of salt, because nothing is really, most things weren't expressly designed for us to benefit us. So in my head, I was thinking, what are some of the things that I've heard while growing up Black people say around me in circles that I've been in that weren't for Black people? I've heard Black people say going to college isn't for Black people. I heard Black people say invest. This is recent. I'm talking about like 4 months ago. I've heard Black people say investing in the stock market isn't for Black people. I've heard people say, hey, eating healthy isn't for Black people. We was designed to eat hog maws and chitlins. Like it kind of get ridiculous. So anytime you hear someone give a blanket statement like that, I think it's worthwhile to take a cursory look, because it may be a jewel or a gem over there that you're actually missing that you could get a hold to. So, let's check out this last video she got where she was addressing this topic. And then we're going to give it the full breakdown before we get out of here.
Black people should stop listening to Dave Ramsey, part 3. I don't know why this man has Black households in such a chokehold, but here are some alternatives to Dave Ramsey. One of my favorite books out right now is The Psychological Effect of Money on Black Women by Shara and Marquise Murray. The Popcorn Finance Podcast. Quentin from Q Makes It Happen. I love his YouTube channel. Rich and Regular. I love them. Tiffany Aliche, aka The Budgetnista. I really like some of her content, not all of it, but I really like a lot of her content and the resources that she provides for people. Deidre from Slay This Debt, I love her down. There's an Instagram called Black PF Community. I love them because they highlight Black people in the area of finances and things like that.
All right, all that's good information. Like I said, you can find people out there who look like you, who's giving the same gems that he's giving. That's all fine and dandy. I actually looked at these comments, though. It's hilarious. Look at this first comment. Like I said, these videos are old. They just kind of popped off recently. But this first comment, this guy says, race matters because we don't have the same opportunities or access when it comes to money. I want someone who understands my experiences. I want someone who understands my experiences. Yeah, I can see how that's beneficial. We don't have the same access or opportunities. So what? We don't have the same access or opportunities. So what? I know that may come off hard. I know some people may beat me up in the comments. Okay, you don't have the same access or opportunities. What the hell that got to do with you putting your feet to the pavement and making a way for yourself? Opportunities. Opportunities is what? Hard work and a little bit of chance. Like everybody think opportunities is just mostly from chance. Nah, Opportunities is from actually having hard work and a little bit of luck, a little bit of intervention, divine intervention to come your way. But you put yourself in a position to take advantage of an opportunity or a chance when it arrives. So, I don't know. I, all that opportunity and access shit, in my opinion, is more of people running as Anton Daniel says, Anton Jackson, as Anton Jackson said, the victim Olympics. Okay, so what? It was hard. That was the past. What the hell are you going to do about it now? That's always kind of been my take. Yeah, you got to know the past so you can adjust and make changes systematically from a big time standpoint. But at the end of the day, I don't have access to a lot of things. I didn't have access to a lot of things. You think I had a bunch of lawyers in my damn family who I could go talk to and tell me, oh, this is what you do. This is how you do it. This is what an LSAT was. I ain't know none of that shit. I couldn't go to my parents. They didn't know none of that stuff. It was stuff that I had to figure out. I had to talk to somebody, to talk to somebody, to talk to somebody. I had to ask somebody. I had to go to Ask Jeeves and figure out what the hell I had to do because I had no clue. And that's just kind of how it is. And look at this second comment right here. I love Dave Ramsey. He got me out of credit card debt, and I will never go back. However, I'm willing to listen to Black financial analysts as well. Fair. This is hilarious. You can tell, how times have changed. Earn Your Leisure on YouTube is for the culture. Yo, again, okay. Yo, if you want to get finance advice from EYL, so be it, that's on you. But that comment is one that definitely didn't age well because I've seen so many people on that channel who said and convinced Black people that doing so many illegal things is the right way to make a play. So, I personally think that, advice is advice. You know what I mean? Okay, so you're not going to listen to Warren Buffett because his advice wasn't cultivated for Black people? Get the hell out of here. Like, nah, I don't want to hear what Warren Buffett got to say because Warren Buffett can't tell me nothing. Charlie Munger can't tell me nothing because his advice wasn't cultivated for me. It don't got to be cultivated for you. Ain't nothing out here really cultivated for you. You get what you can get where you can get it. Where you can use it and benefit from it, you take it. The parts you don't want to use that you can't benefit from, you take it and adjust it and make it your own plan. But I don't know, man. I feel like sometimes, like, I don't know, man. We gotta collectively do better, man. Sometimes we don't know what to support. We support the wrong things prematurely. Like anytime I hear something in the news, I'm an attorney. I'm like, let me wait and see what the facts are. I'm not jumping on it. But I'm not jumping on like who she want people to listen to? Boyce Watkins? Like, I don't know. There's a lot of scammers out there, but there's a lot of scammers who are actually preying on the Black community. So I don't think that you should just give somebody the benefit of the doubt. Just, I'm going to listen to this Black financial advisor guy just because he's Black. Nah, you got to listen to who makes the most sense. You got to do your own due diligence and find out who's actually speaking the truth and who's actually just giving out information because it sounds good. Because that's the problem. The big problem, what happens a lot of times is you'll get people in the community who look like you and they know just enough to sound informed to a person who is very uninformed, who's just starting. And then that person who's just starting out takes that advice as gold and they end up getting burned. They end up investing in the Jay Morrison real estate fund. They end up trying to buy a damn house from DJ Envy. They end up going to him 500, lying on the form saying I don't own that debt when I really do because this is how you finesse the credit system game. Like, I don't know. I think all of that stuff is goofy. I think people got to do their due diligence. And just as a matter of course, like anytime one person collectively tells me that something isn't for a group of people, I'm automatically going to look at it sketch. Because like I said, the stock market wasn't cultivated for Black people, but I bet you put your money in that shit all the time. Yeah. Why do you put your money in the stock market all the time? Because it has a proven track record of working and being successful. That's why Black folks listen to Dave Ramsey, because he has a proven track record of being successful with what he is talking about. Now, is the investment strategy? Me and him can agree to disagree on some things. But generally, you should stay out of debt. Generally, most people probably shouldn't use credit cards. Generally, most people are going to have a car note for the rest of their life. So if they could avoid it, they should avoid it. So, I don't know, man. I just like, hey, pro-black is great, but like, you could pro-black yourself into blinding yourself from seeing something that's actually beneficial. You know what I mean? And you could pro-black yourself to tripping up and falling into something that's going to hurt you. That's how, most of the scammers you see in the black community are black people. Why? Because of exactly what this sister says. Hey, this person looks like me. This person sounds like me. They understand my background, my socioeconomic situation. That doesn't necessarily mean it's the best information for you, but it's interesting. I'm gonna reach out to sis. That's why I actually tagged her in the description box. I'm gonna reach out so we can get on here and just talk about it. But I'd be shocked. Like I know Dave Ramsey is personally accountable for a lot of black people improving their financial situation. And whether you agree with his philosophy 100%, whether you agree with his politics or his personal beliefs is one thing. But I know people who follow Dave Ramsey. I don't give a damn what color you are, black, blue, green, brown, orange. If you follow Dave Ramsey and you try to be consistent 80, 75, 80, 90%, I guarantee you that those people are going to be in a better position than they were before they heard of Dave Ramsey. And to me, I think that's just a benefit. You know what I mean? Whether or not it's cultivated for black people, I don't expect an old white guy from Tennessee or wherever the hell he's from to make a plan on how to do something, but cultivate it to me. How the hell he gonna cultivate it specifically for me? He don't know. Like, he don't know. But like she admitted, he does have some gems, and those are the things you have to jump on and have to take. That I just wanted to talk about it because I saw it trending. I saw people talking about it, and like I don't know. I think it was an interesting take, but it's a take that generally I'm a disagree on because, like I said, most things weren't cultivated with black hardship and struggle in mind, but we do take advantage of it and use it to move ourselves ahead. That's just kind of what life is. Y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like, y'all think it was a fair point? Y'all think it was one of them things where you just taking pro-blackness to overkill level? I think it was a little bit of both. I think it's a fair point, but I generally think Dave Ramsey information is going to do more good than harm 90% of the time for the people who try to follow. Because if you're listening to Dave Ramsey and you even concerned about it, you know what? You probably in over your head financially. You probably stressed the fuck out. You probably struggling. You and your wife probably want to choke each other because y'all money is already jacked up. Because when you got money problems, it exacerbates everything else. Okay, if if uh if you have small problem A and there's a money problem, that small ass problem A is going to look like it's magnified times fucking 50. That's just kind of what it is. But y'all let me know what y'all think in the comments. Like I said, hey, now I don't 100% agree with him. I think I actually got kicked out of a Dave Ramsey Facebook group because I was like, hey, but I think you should have more than $1,000. Man, those Dave Ramsey, there's like Beyonce Beehive. Those Dave Ramsey people, they came from my man. But like, hey, is the Money Guy show? I love the Money Guy show. I actually like their concepts a lot more than Dave Ramsey. Is the Money Guy show? Is their information cultivated for black people? No, it's two white guys from Tennessee or somewhere down south. Like, I don't expect their content to be specifically catered to the socioeconomic impact of African Americans and their hardships throughout sharecropping days and all that. That I think that's just unrealistic to expect somebody to do that. When you make content, do you not want white people to listen to your content about improving their credit? Or you want them not to listen to it because your content isn't specifically cultivated for a white Southern person? Like, see, when you flip it around, it sounds kind of wild. When you flip it around, it sounds kind of wild, in my personal opinion. Let me go and check out some of these comments, man, because I wanted to get through some stuff. But same here. It was good to the very end. Yep, I agree. Let me see. Ramsey did have two pretty prominent black males on his staff, and at one point that doesn't mean much, but it's something. Hey, Dave Ramsey is like the Skip Bayless of the financial world. He give a black person a job. Dave Ramsey, he's so like shout out. He had Chris Hogan on there until that went not so well. He had Anthony O'Neill on there until AO decided to do his thing. Let me see. I think the religious aspect that brings in a lot of people, they use as info in a lot of churches. I agree too. I've seen a lot of churches. I've been in churches where they like, oh, they'll have somebody doing Financial Peace University. I mean, that's religion is historically used to. I mean, there's a lot of black Republicans out there. Why? Because they made that. Because in theory, let's talk about theory. Okay, we're not gonna talk about what may or may not be true, but in theory, Republican Party is the moral party, the Christian party, and a lot of black people vote Republican just off of the moral Christianity beliefs, not even looking at policy. So, I mean, that religion is a real big deal. Blacks love church. Yeah, hey, that's true, man. It's crazy though. I've been to a church where like they was like, oh, we starting up a Financial Peace University class, but we're going on a shopping trip to Delaware where you don't have to pay no state taxes. I was like, what in the hell baby step is this? That's baby step -4. And like sometimes it just get a little crazy, you know what I mean? Black people love church. Hey, moms learned about Dave in church. Yeah, I do think the African American baby boomers let the next generation down. Yeah, I agree. They dropped the ball. I do agree that like my generation, a DFD, a young old man, but I do think that my generation, especially information is so accessible now too. Like I'm just be honest, like my parents had no clue probably how the stock market worked back in the day. They probably would have had, we had to, when we wanted something, we had to, my father bought an encyclopedia set. We had to actually go through the encyclopedia. So now the information is just so accessible. So it's easy to have that knowledge. Like if you don't know something, it's because you don't want to know it. Or you just like, I don't want to take the time to look. See? You don't know how you learned about Dave Ramsey, but his perspective helped me. Anytime I search get out of debt, Dave Ramsey is probably like the number one person who's going to pop up. And I remember because I was like, who's this big head? I was like, who's this older white guy with his glasses, man? Then I watched a couple of videos of him yelling at people. And I was like, okay, I like his swag. I like how he I like when he yell at people and really make them feel like whatever they did was dumb. Because sometimes people need that kick in the ass. Like that's how I am. If you kind of like, if I do something stupid and you like, oh well, everybody make mistakes, but now you can turn the corner. There's a high probability that I'm gonna do some dumb shit again. But if I do something stupid and you like, yo, that was so dumb. Like if you really like kind of drive it home and chastise me a little bit, I'll be like, oh, I ain't doing that stupid shit no more. I'm not stopping retirement investment until I pay off debt. I think that's crazy. There's only how I would do it if I could pay off my debt in 18 months or less. If I stop my investments, it'll allow me to pay my debts off completely in 18 months or less. I would probably do it. That's how I look at it. But most people aren't like that. Most people, man, people been in baby step 2 since 2002. Listen to the Dave Ramsey show. People like, man, I'm in baby step 2. We've been at this for 9 years. Like, it's a process. So to say that, yo, I'm gonna not invest for 5 years until we pay off all our debt, I think that's crazy. I think you gotta split the baby. Hey, if you got $500 to pay towards debt, Take 4 and pay towards debt and invest 100. Do something, because that $100, that value, you're just gonna lose it so fast. I think it's gonna be terrible. I would tell people that Dave is good for people that are horrible with money. He lays out an extremely basic way to set a foundation for future wealth. I agree 100% with that statement. Tell you what, if you don't know what the hell you're doing, if you don't know what you're doing, you'll have no clue where to start. His information is the best information to say, here's the building block of how you should do it. And then what will happen is, as you learn more, you're going to look and see different ways to do it and be like, oh, maybe it's okay to use a credit card. If I use a credit card all the time. Like I get mad when I look at the account and I'm like, why'd you use the debit card? Like, use the credit card. We pay it off every month. I like all the free points. I'm a credit card guy, but he's not a credit card guy. But you can learn it different. But I think Dave Ramsey is exactly what you said. Tell you what, like, yo, you don't know what the hell you're doing. You don't know where to start. Listen to this dude. Once you get into baby step 2, then you can start to explore the landscape, learn different ways of doing stuff. EYL, man. EYL, man. EYL is, yeah, I don't know. It's cool because sometimes they say some good stuff on there. I will say I think their guests are far worse than them, because sometimes they have some good guests on there. I'm subscribed to EYL, and sometimes I watch, when I hear some shit, I be like, that's illegal. Then I change. Like, if you want to get me to unsubscribe to your channel, say something illegal. It was a finance YouTuber. I think he's from Baltimore. It was a younger black guy, and I was like, yo, he got a pretty dope channel. And he was talking about how to get a higher credit line. And I was like, line on a financial form isn't the best way to get a high credit line, because that's a federal crime. Like, I just like, nah, we not gonna do that. That's funny. Hey, yeah. If you want to listen to a financial advisor just because he's black, hey, you've been warned, okay? We got extremes out there. You got the pocket watcher with JT who are sound and probably really Dave Ramsey is, or you could go to the Boyce Watkins and let the chips fall where they may. Right. And that all financial advice fits all. That's why it's called personal finance. I agree. Because I used to be like, oh, $1,000 starter emergency fund is a good plan. And then I was like, wait, that don't make no sense. And then I moved up to, you need enough to cover your largest deductible. Like if your house get a tornado or something. Then I moved up to, you know what? My starter emergency fund is going to be $1,000 per person in the house. If it's 4 people in the house, we're going to have $4,000. That was kind of my take on it. So now it's crazy because I still got debt, but I'm like, because I only have a small amount of student loan debt left, I'm like, nah, let me go and stack my emergency fund up now. But I will tell you, when I start my new job, February, whenever I start my new job, I'm probably going to take a lot of money out of my emergency fund and throw all of that shit right on my student loan to knock that joint down to like $16,000. It's at like 39 or something right now. I just, when I going through that stage of, hey, I was unemployed for a period, then I had a temporary job, then I'm not like, I don't want to just give up my ends that I got sitting in the bank until I start my new official job. And as if it relates to you and your circumstances, you got to be open-minded. Yep. Because I look at everybody's sketch. I don't trust nobody. But if you come to me too pro-black, I really don't trust you. If you come to me too pro-black, like, hey, brother man, or you come to me like overly religious, I'm like, this dude might be trying to get me. But that's just because I'm jaded, because I used to represent the worst of the worst. I've seen the worst of the worst out here. So maybe y'all a little bit better than me. Don't be jaded like me. But that's just kind of how I am. Oh man, I should have saw this comment because there was so much I wanted to say. Dave Ramsey, so anti-government. Isn't that black? Hey, I know I hear him complain about taxes all the time. And hey, he didn't want to. I think he was an anti-jab person too during the 19 pandemic. So hey, that sound black to me. I was like, hey, Dave Ramsey and a lot of my homeboys from around the way had the same talking points when it came to getting that jab. Yeah, the money guy show. I like those guys. I like those guys because I think their advice is a little bit more practical. It give a little bit more flexibility. Like, damn, I can't never get a new car. I always gotta get a $2,000 car. like at least they give you a little bit of flexibility to, hey, you can get a car, you can get a house. Your first house, you don't have to put 20% down. Because I know I damn sure ain't put 20% down on my first house. So, money is green, it sees no color. Right. I'm not going to invest with that guy because he's an old white guy. I'm going to invest with this brother over here because he got on a dashiki. No. That's bad advice. I think it's the Southern values. Yeah, it's Southern values, but I think it's more of I think y'all hit on it earlier. I think it's more that religious thing. Like, like this is how I'm gonna tell you how this is how generally religious black people are. My mother, God bless her, Mama DFD used to be a missionary when I was growing up in church. Now she's a minister. This is how powerful black people in religion are. She knows nothing about football. All she knows is that like the Redskins used to be good in the 90s. Then they changed their name because it was racist. And like she knows nothing about football. But I tell you, when Tim Tebow played on the Denver Broncos, I remember my mother saying, the Lord want that boy to win. I was like, God care about Super Bowls? But that just goes to show because Tim Tebow was a really big religious guy, Christianity, always praying before games. My mother, someone who knows nothing about football, knew of him and knew what he was doing. So that's always a big point. That's definitely going to draw a lot of African Americans, a lot of us in. Ramsey name alone just flows in the religious sect. I agree. You got him in, every church. Like it's probably churches in the Hispanic community where they doing Financial Peace University because his concepts don't discriminate. Generally, if you follow his concepts, I don't give a damn what you could be plaid. If you follow Dave Ramsey's concepts, is a pretty good chance that you're not going to be as injective of a situation as you were when you started. Going to sightseeing and sound and shopping. Hey, let's not forget the stock market was about a $10 transaction back in the day. Yeah, but the stock market, you had to know somebody who was down on the floor with a pink sheet, like, to buy a certain stock for you. But the stock market wasn't for us. Somebody told me recently, like 3 months ago, the stock market, a black guy, the stock market in Vegas is the same thing. You might as well go to Vegas. I was like, bullshit. I was like, well, you go to Vegas. I'm going to keep investing in this funds that track the S&P 500 because I got about 16% return this year, and you let me know what you do. Trust me, I went on a cruise and I went down to the casino. I lost all my money. That's the most money I lost gambling. I was like, I ain't doing that shit again. Normally I lose $20 and I stop, but I won a little bit, so I was like, I'm gonna keep going. I had a certain amount set. Man, I lost that money so damn fast, it was ridiculous. Especially the company matching. Yeah, that's a big one. You always gotta get that. And that's the thing. When I first started my journey to get out of debt and we was paying off cars and credit cards, we pulled that investing back, but we made sure we got that match because we were at a point where like, okay, if they matching us 5%, we at least gonna put 5% in. We ain't gonna put no more in because we want to get rid of the debt. And that's what we did for the first 2 or 3 years. We just put the only thing we invested was just enough to get the company matched. We didn't do no I wasn't doing no crypto or no single stocks. We just a straight 401k, get the company match. Everything else we threw at debt. So that's actually a good point. That's a damn good point. Yeah, it literally helped back my mortgage approval for my home. Wow, yeah, that's good. Issa Rae calls them militant blacks, where they just did everything. Like, man, I'm pro black just as much as the next person. Like, come on now, I gotta, I gotta. I'm gonna put a picture up of a poster I got in my living room. It's like Huey P. Newton, like Malcolm X, like hey, I like all that stuff. I went to historically black college. My resume black as hell, y'all. Somebody look at my resume, they automatically gonna be like, yeah, this we know that this DFD guy, oh, he's definitely black. Look at his resume. You gonna look at my resume, you're like black school, black school, black school. Oh yeah, this dude is like so. But yeah, you can be so black to the point where you just don't trust anything, and that's where it can become a problem. I'm so black, I don't listen to anything unless it's coming from a black person. That's crazy as hell. You setting yourself up to get kicked in the ass. You set yourself up to get kicked in, and you know what? Real talk. So yeah, that's kind of what it is. But I think that's it. I will close it out. I'm running off daggone no sleep, and I think I got like 3 hours of sleep. I'm weird. Either I have nights where I sleep all the time. It's like, hey, getting old, man, is no joke. I remember I used to be able to stay up all night, could go out partying, wake up in the morning, run 5 miles, and still have energy. Now at about 10:30, like this live was cutting it. Trust me. This live was way past the brother bedtime. Oh, I appreciate it, man. Appreciate it. Yeah, JT, that's my guy, man. The pocket watcher. That's my guy. He gave me some finance advice and I didn't follow it. JT gave me some finance advice, and it probably was really good finance advice, but it was on some Dave Ramsey shit. And I was like, man, I don't know, pocket watcher. I generally trust you, but I don't know. Essentially, it was to the point where, what was the question? Okay, we had paid off after 2 years. We paid off cars, credit cards, everything. Only thing we had were student loans, right? Only thing we had was student loans. And I was drawn between, because the student loan is so low, I'm right at the finish line. I'm like, man, it's so low. And I sat and did the math, and I was like, man, if I stop investing, I can knock this out way sooner. And I was like, I just didn't know what to do. I was like, that's the only time I will think about stopping investing. If my amount of debt is so low, from me stopping investing, I can knock it out in no time. So we were talking about the difference of paying off our last student loan payment in about 20 months to paying it off in about 12 months. If I had stopped investing, I could have paid it off in about 12 months, as opposed to about 20 to 24 while I keep investing. And, hey, shout out, hey, Brother Thornton was like, hey, I'm going to need you to, you should stop investing and just knock out the debt. And I think one of the reasons he said that is because I did a video on this. But about a year ago, we have invested enough to where if we don't invest anything else, we would have what I purport to be the minimum amount that we would need to retire and like not eat spam and shit. So I think in light of that, I told him, I was like, I was like I keep pushing the goalpost, but our original number was like 1.6 M's, right? If we got 1.6 million at retirement with no mortgage, don't owe nobody else stuff, everything else is paid off, we'd be good to go, right? And so that was a milestone. Once we had enough invested to where like, yo, if we don't invest nothing else and just leave this here, it'll equal that 1.6 we wanted. That was one that had me thinking like, maybe I should peel back and just throw it in there. And JT was like, you should just stop investing and go ahead and pay it off. But I just couldn't do it, man. I couldn't do it. And let me see. I'm gonna see if I can pull it up real quick. I feel like I made the right decision. I damn sure I made the right decision because it's my finances. But I made the right decision because it's my finance. I'm not saying his advice was bad, but I don't wanna lie to y'all. Damn, and this was over 12 months. So I want to see what my return is over the past 12 months. I'm trying to pull it up, man. They're like, you know how your app got to update and shit. So I got to do a quick update. Oh, hurry up. All right, let's open. Man, it's still taking all long. No, I went to the wrong one. I got too many. I went to the wrong one. Hold on. I want to pull this up. So that was about a year ago. He told me to do that. It's not recap. Mission Square. I got so many retirement things in different accounts. This is the one I want. So we can see. Oh nah, like yo, I'm a. All right, let me. I'm a screenshot this. Let me screenshot this so I can show y'all. Screenshot. I want y'all to see this. Yeah, I definitely made the right decision. All right, that's the image I want right there. Now let me pull that image up. Let me pull that image up. Hey, why my damn? I know y'all probably like get an iPhone. Nah, I'm stubborn. I don't know. Y'all probably ain't gonna be able to see this. I'm gonna see if I could. Let me see if I can hold this up to the camera. Can y'all see that? Is that clear? That's the return on my investment portfolio for this calendar year. 20.86%. So I show y'all that just to say, like, yo, like, yeah, I could have stopped investing and paid off my student loan, but like, nah, I would have lost out on a lot of profit, and I just know better. So I just can't do it. That's just something I can't do. And I'm fortunate enough to where I'm not just like overstretched. I got enough to where I can invest a little bit and still make some progress on my debt. That shit took a long time to get there, but it is what it is. Yo, I appreciate everybody who tunes into this stuff. Hey, let's not let your pro-blackness goggles make you avoid an opportunity or some good gems out there. Like y'all said, have an open mind, be receptive to other things. Hey, Warren Buffett don't know anything about the black struggle, but I'm listening to him. And you know what? Boyce Watkins knows about the black struggle, but I'm gonna respectfully decline on investment advice from him. Y'all take care. Y'all have a good weekend. Be safe. Be blessed. Peace. I'm sorry. I just saw this comment.